Hello, it is I, Morgan La Fey, Sea Witch Immortal. Welcome to my underwater studio and my Sea Witch lair. I want to talk to you about this amazing retreat I have coming up that I'm so excited for, this Sea Witch, where we're going to combine my favorite things. Pirates, Queen of the Sea, Women of the Sea, heroines, rebels, rogues, witches. So Morgan La Fey is my pirate name, but it's also my witch name. And Morgan La Fey was, the evil enchantress and sorceress in the realm of King Arthur, and she was actually King Arthur's half sister. So I have a whole backstory to my character. It's very long. I won't go into it here, but suffice it to say, I love it because it works back and forth between my pirate alter ego and my sea witch and witch alter egos. So the wonderful thing about the sea witch is that we have all these wonderful metaphors to absorb. So we will be using these archetypes of witch, of pirate, to access inner aspects of ourselves that are maybe unlived. These magical, powerful, don't take no shit, don't live by your rules, we make our own kind of life. So we're going to be exploring that in these books that we're going to create. So I wanted to share with you some of my books. These may or may not be inspirational for you, and you can work in anything that you'd like for the Sea Witch class, but we're going to be working in a book, so that's the most important thing. And I'm going to share a few books and I'll just go through them. This is one I'm working on now. Nothing very exciting. I do like this red. I could always paint this, and I really never decorate my covers. If I were to do that, I would do it at the end, because otherwise, when we're constantly opening it, the cover can get damaged, and if it's heavy, it'll fall off. So I usually wait till the end, but at the end, I'm done. My tiara is. And what I like about this book is it has fairly thick pages, but you can glue pages together, you can do all kinds of things. And I'm actually going to have some homework for you guys to do that we'll come to in a little bit. And you can do it if you have time. If you don't have time, we're not really going to spend time on it in the class, because I really, really want to spend time focused on our deep inner work. Usually I do sort of technique and structure within the course. We're not gonna do that, because we're gonna get to work, and we're gonna dive in deep into that sea. Okay, so this is a good size book. It's fairly big. I think it's a good size. Oh, and another thing I wanted to share, and I should have tagged the pages here, is I sometimes work on this when I do my Book of the Night course, and I like to do that every couple of years or so. And so there's some witch assignments in it. So I have some. I was thinking of Xeroxing, scanning, and making copies of some of my witch pages and shrinking them down to fit into my whatever book I'm going to choose, so that I have a bunch of witch pages. But I don't know, that seems like a lot of work, and I'm not sure that I'm up to it. And I always wanted to create a grimoire, which is a woman's book of spells, and there's some great examples of grimoires on my Pinterest page, which I'll give you the link to. So I have both ideas for the grimoire, which is maybe a land witch, and the sea witch's Book of the Sea. And I want you to look at those, but also look at, I have costumes. Anything that's a costume can be used, to decorate your cover, where it's got, seashells and sea glass, or blue fabric or something. So all of those things will serve as inspiration. And you can see when you look at my page, I'm an addict to Pinterest. I love collecting my stuff there. So I have a lot of pirate books, and I could use one of these if I wanted to. I certainly have pages left in here, but I'm really feeling like I want to do something new, something different for myself. I want to challenge myself this time. But a pirate book is going to work fine. Might be fun. I also have this other little decor book it's a book I'm altering, and you can see even when I take pages out, the spine breaks. That's just what happens. This is a little bit smaller, but I think this is a good size, like not too big, not too small. And I think I might have some witch stuff in here. Like I said, I kind of wanted to make copies of it and put it in another book. I don't know what I'm going to do, but this is a good size. You know, when it's thick like this, it can take a long time to finish. Like the pirate books, I know now, that's really all I do is pirate journals. So I don't have to worry like before. My books were just general with a few maybe pirate pages in it. But now I only do pirate pages. So my concern was that, if I start this witch book, and I don't finish it, what will I do with the rest? So what's fun about the Sea Witch is that if I do a few Sea Witch pages, those will still continue I can still keep that with my pirate, or I can keep going with a witch. So I think that there's a lot of options to the Sea Witch. So here's a book that I like. It's kind of weird, kind of tall. I could do something with the cover. And I just went through my Altered States online course, which I encourage you guys to do. It's only $25 right now. And it goes through a whole book and shows you how to prep it, like make pockets, add a triptych, take out signatures. And some of this stuff we're going to do for homework. I'm not going to have you guys take out signatures, but if you're altering a book, and even if you're using a blank sketchbook, which you can do, not so much in a spiral bound, but a hardbound, you will need to take pages out, because when we're adding collage, we've got collage here and collage here, so now we have 3 pages where there used to be only 1. And if you're like me, you're adding pockets and things that go in. So there's a lot that's making the pages, too thick. So you do want to take pages out. I might have a video. I don't know. Okay, so I'm just going to go through all the stuff I have, and then I'll come back with some close-ups. So this is some jewelry that I was getting rid of, and I thought, that might be cool, if I want to decorate my Sea Witch cover. And in one of my favorite books, and I don't know if I put it out here, it's a pirate book. And when I first made it, it was kind of small, actually, maybe like this. And I think this is too small, but it's up to you guys. And so I had this, it was a chain, and it went, through here, and then I hung stuff on it. It broke, and I've never fixed it, but it was so fun that everybody in the class made their own, because it just was cool. So that's something easy that you can do to decorate it, and give it a little bit of sea class, sea feel to it. I don't know, just things that I found that I thought that could be cool hanging there, because I could also, hang charms on this. So those are just ideas for decor. And I also encourage costumes, but it's up to you guys. You don't have to go that far. You want to just wear a witch hat. I've got a few extra witch hats. Because it's always fun to embody that archetype or embody that character. Just like we would decorate our books, or we're going to do these assignments as the theme in the books, like it gets us in the mood. And I'll have music that gets us in the mood. It's going to be really fun. So I love this little book. I've never used it, and it must be a vegan sort of pleather thing because it's starting to peel. But it's just a blank sketchbook, but I love this red cover. And I always love working in red books. So sometimes it's just like a book that feels right. Like I said, I think this is too small, but it's always up to you guys. And I just had some other things, like I said, like I love these old red covers. And this one I tore some pages out. So if I wanted to, I could put some back in here. So let's say we've got 2 days that we're working. Oh, here's another little thing. And that could, fit on a cover or something. It's just a leather. It was a wallet. Like I would collect these wallets. And then I cut it. I probably used the other side as something kind of container. So here's another thing that I could glue on a page or glue in a book. Dang it. Now I forgot what I was going to say. Okay, well, I'll keep going. Somehow I'll come back to that. I don't know. Okay, so this one, this is kind of this, it's the Wonders of the Deep Sea. And it's relatively thin, so it's manageable. And I've already taken signatures out of here. I kind of like these old yellowy pages. And the book can have the theme or not. You can always change it. Like, I could go through here and paint light blue on all the pages to make it a book of the sea. Iridescent paint and hang things off or draw seashells around the edges. You know, there's a lot that I can do to create my book of the sea before you guys come here. We'll do assignments. So let's just say at the maximum we do 5 assignments a day. That's 10 assignments. So you're going to need at least 10 2-page spreads. I don't know if that helps. So if I'm thinking of using a thin book, you know, maybe I know that I need at least that many. This is a really cool book that I got at a tiny library in Florida. And it just so happened to be at a tiny library that was only, what's it called when you veto books? Like you can't, sorry, my brain doesn't work that well anymore. Banned. That a tiny library that was only banned books. And this was one of the ones I got there. It was like mostly Harry Potter books and stuff. But it's from Disney, and it's Mal's spell book. So the pages are really cute, like they were an old, you know, like a grimoire, which would be spells. And it's like the kids are wizards and sorceresses, and so they're making notes to each other as they work through it. So this would be a great book, but I don't know, I kind of love it. This book is similar to that one I was talking about that I did at the Pirate Retreat in Key West in 2009. It was exactly this same book, the first one in the series, and it's red, so I loved it. I think it's too small, but I did work in it at that retreat, and it was really amazing, I think, because it was so intimate. But if you're used to working in a small book, go bigger. If you're used to working in a big book, go smaller. And you can always have a couple of books. Like, I like to do that too. Like, sometimes, and that makes it hard to finish a book, that I'm working in the small book and I'm working in the big book. But it's nice to have some choices. This, to me, really feels like the Sea Witch. Like, on the back, there's this skull and crossbones. But on the front, it's sort of like this Celtic, you know, Celtic circular and trim here that looks really beautiful and ancient, you know, and it folds over and ties. And the paper, this is not paper that I like. If I were just drawing, I think this would be really cool, like drawing and making my spells. And it's got like flowers embedded into it. But it's not something that I would use like an altered book, but it's still cool, like the cover and everything. That's cool. This book is called The Undiscovered Islands, and it's a nice size, you know, not too thick. You know, I like the blue cover, and you know, the pages are nice. They have some maps and things about, and some sea creatures in here, some things about, you know, just fake, and it says Undiscovered Islands, an archipelago of myths and mysteries, phantoms, and fakes. So, you know, probably legends of Atlantis, etc., etc. So that would be a fun book. This book is, again, I like this red. It's kind of thin. It's like a library sale, so it has this card on the back, which I kind of like that. And I've already been working in here, but it's got some soulful stuff. But to me, like, that's a blank page. Like, I just glued this stuff in knowing that I would come back to it and alter it later. So I did this during COVID. I took a lot of books and I just glued shit in. And like, then I would have a book that when I was ready to do my deep inner work again, because I was kind of too afraid during COVID to do it, then I would have something to work in. So this book actually has a lot of stuff that I could use. The only thing that's hard is when, You know, like if I go in here, we're going to do an assignment, like this may, or like I may say paint over the whole thing, and now I've lost it. We will do a couple assignments that are like a lot less specific, just so that you guys have time to work, so that you can work back over older pieces, other things. This is a really cool book, and I think that this kind of looks like a grimoire. Like this wraps around, and you would wrap it around this key, you know, so it's leather. And you can do this, add leather to any, glue it onto any cover and wrap it around. And it's got this nice paper here. This is like thick watercolor paper, and it's got this deckled edge. I don't like textured paper, so I don't really like this book, even though it's very beautiful. And I'm also intimidated by it, which is also why I don't use it. Okay, and I have this set of a student gave this to me a long time ago. It's called the Moon Box, and I think that this works, you know, for goddess, for priestess, for us relating to the moon and the tides. And it has these 3 little books in here. Again, these are too little, but it's a possibility. So, and I just like, this blue cover one might be good. And same thing, like I've just been kind of going through here. This is how I work. I add stuff. I mean, this might be a good book. I'll have to think about this one. Okay, this book is really cool. Someone gave this to me. The only problem with this book is that it's not really going to fit on our table, but it's a cool idea, and it's sort of this, you know, octopus story, and the artwork is really cool and beautiful. You know, so it would be a challenge to use this, because you'd be like, oh, I'm attached, I like it, I don't want to cover over it, which makes it hard to alter a book. But you know, these are things that you can do in your own books, like in the front and end pages, put in this beautiful, you know, seaful, soulful paper. So when we work in my Sea Witch studio, you know, you're really only going to have, you know, about this much space in front of you. It's a big table, but with 8 of us, we're barely going to have room between us. So I would say not too much bigger than that. This is a book that I didn't like because it's bound in here, so it never, you know, it doesn't lay flat, okay? This is this is probably 25 years ago, something like that. And when I finished it, I decorated this cover and I covered it in glass. And now when I look at it, you know, because it has collage underneath, you know, it sort of seems like sea glass a little bit, but it's super heavy. And if I kept turning this cover, you know, see how thick that glass is? You know, it's just going to break. You know, so now it's okay because I know I'm not really going to be opening it. Okay. Not switch stuff. So this book, Lee Lewalski made for me for my birthday one year. And it's so cool. It's a pirate book, but it could easily be, you know, my Morgan La Fey book of spells. But it's another one of those things that it's almost like, it's so nice, I don't want to use it. So this is something really cool, and, you know, all you guys are probably better at bookmaking than I am, and so you can make something cool for the class, okay? That would be cool. Another thing I have in my collection, so I like to keep all my books organized. So I have with kind of in the house with my witch books that I use, you know, to come up with assignments. I also have my King Arthur kind of stuff because they, to me, kind of medieval go together. So I have these would be great books to alter to this knights and castles and feudal life. And these have great pictures, and I do like using young adult books, especially from, you know, the 60s, 50s. The paper's nice. So that could be a cool choice. King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. You know, this one's already breaking, so maybe it doesn't matter, but I am kind of attached to this because the images are absolutely beautiful. You know, I can always make copies of some of these to bring with, you know, as part of my Sea Witch stash. So this is really more like, you know, land witch stuff, but you guys could always make this the sea instead of a lake. You know, this is maybe an underwater castle or something. So you want to be thinking about that in terms of collecting your stuff is, you know, what is, you know, seaful, soulful? How do I take what I have and just transform it a little bit? So, of course, you know, King Arthur, and I have these books of the realm because of, like I said, Morgan La Fey is my alter ego witch and pirate. So this is her era. This is when she was around. This is something that I made. Actually, maybe somebody made this for me. Did I make this? Okay, so I think so. I'm not sure what year this is, but I had a big medieval party, and my father was still alive and came to visit. So all my friends dressed medieval. They were elves or witches or my father. So it was the Return of the King. Oh yeah, so this must have been like a. This book was a Lord of the Rings book. And then inside, I don't know if they were puzzles or what they were. And then so after the party, I made this for my dad. And you can see people's costumes. And here's Dad. And here's some of the witches and the Lady of the Lake. So this, and then everybody's, all my friends here. We had a little photo shoot in the grapevines. It was really a wonderful party. It was so fun. And I'm so glad I was able to do that for my dad. And my sister came. And so this was a fun book, and this is something. It's just hopefully some ideas here. Okay, more more King Arthur books, really beautiful artwork. This is something at that party that someone made for me, a friend of mine made for me, and it's just bound with what's that, silver tape. Duct tape, no. Duct tape? Duct tape, yes. Okay, that's what that is. So she made it after the party as a gift for me, and she also had, you know, photographs and stuff in here. So this is a beautiful keepsake. And this is something, again, that's kind of thinner, so you could conceivably finish it in a class. Again, more King Arthur stuff. Okay, and this is like a cool book box. And I had, this used to have a deck of tarot cards in here, but I took them out. So they were in here, but you could, you know, maybe have a box that your book fits in because it's so secret. You know, I have some old, like this is an old witchcraft and alchemy book. You know, so it's like real. You know, somebody would have been, you know, learning from this book. So it's a little scary. Another witch book. So you guys, there's all kinds of books like this online or at your, well, you don't want to take them from the library, that you can use and rework or get ideas. Like I like this deckled edge. Now you can get ideas for your book. This is a gift that a friend made for me a long time ago, 2003. And this was a little kid's board book. But remember, we need at least, 10 pages. Okay, and stuff. Like this beautiful sari ribbon that you can, order on Etsy that's blue that would make beautiful trim. I could cover it in this sort of seaful, soulful, magical fabric, my book. And I have things like wands and stuff, like, oh, this is breaking. But you know, last year for my birthday, I had a witch's tea party, and it was super fun. All my friends came dressed as witches, and then we made wands. So, you know, on the side of your book, you know, maybe you have, right, a magic sea witch wand. So it has shells and things on it and gems. I have this, you know, on my shelf where I have all my King Arthur books. This is kind of my witch stuff. You know, things that people make for me for witch things. Another book, this is again really old, that a friend made for me. It's in this bag. I can't take it out because it's breaking. Anyways, that was a long time ago. This is cool. This Harry Potter book, Travel Magic. Okay, so it kind of closes like that. Let me get this out of the way. Okay. So it's just got some fun kind of opening things. I don't even like that's so complicated. There's like a wand or something in here. But how fun is that? Okay. Envelopes and things. This is a really cool book. I could use that. A little skinny on the pages. You know, little, this is the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. You know, maybe there's a sea creature book. And I do have books that I've made out of, you know, out of these. You know, so your book can really be any shape. Okay, so this is one of my favorite books, and it's mermaids, and it's bound weird. So what I had to do was it's like a piece of paper, usually a booklet is a signature, and so the fold gets sewn in here. But this was the opposite. So the edges of the paper were sewn here, so the pages opened, and I didn't like that. So I cut all the pages and glued them together, and then I also reworked this in my Altered States, Altered Books class, because I like these tabs. And the pages in this book were so thick after I glued everything together. And then I added this, which is like a cigar box lid. Not a good idea, but it's kind of working. But it's a delicate book. But I do love this. I was almost thinking of getting another one for this class, but I'm not going to. But this is one of my favorite, and I still call it a pirate journal, even though the cover is mermaids. So I think, you know, anything that's sort of a blue, like a blue kind of cover will work, or you can paint anything blue. So the Seafull Soulful is what we're going for in terms of choosing a book. And I have feathers here, you know, sort of like that witch netting. And you can go either way, you know, maybe like, is Morgan Le Fey a dark witch or a light witch? You know, so there's netting that's like a grayer color or a tan color. This is black, you know, I could put that, you know, cover that on my book to make it look, you know, a little old and scary, you know, or like these feathers and things. You're going to collect, you know, just stuff that you think you might want to use. So I think between this mess and my Pinterest board for the Sea Witch spell book or for the Grimoire, I think I have it under Book of Shadows, you're going to get your idea for your book. You know, not too small, not too big, maybe not too skinny, not too long, you know, just right. And you're also going to need to gather your supplies, and I'll have a PDF for the supply list for you guys. You're not going to need a lot. I'll have most of the stuff, but you're definitely going to need your book. So for the Sea Witch retreat, you're going to want your job is to find a book or make a book or put some stuff together and call it a book, or take a book that you're already using and bring that. Like, you don't have to have a new book. You don't have to start a new book. You can use something you're already working on. If it's fun for you to make a big deal about it, go for it. If not, don't. Just show up with what you've got, whether you're going to alter a book or work in a blank sketchbook, whether it's hardbound or ring bound, whatever, spiral bound, whatever, however you want to do that. Okay, so your first task for the Sea Witch retreat is to find your book. And I'll have another video that has the supply list and has your homework.